How much dividend income did I receive this year? In this video, I'm going to reveal all my passive income through dividend shares and premium bonds. I'll also reveal all my sales and purchases over the last month, including a UK company which I've sold out of completely. Passive income is the money you make while you sleep. It takes time to get the ball rolling and nothing seems to happen at first. But if you stick at it, eventually the monster awakens and grows at an ever-increasing rate. I generate most of my passive income by investing mainly in the shares of UK companies who pay dividends and I hold for the long term, reinvesting the dividends, allowing them to compound over time. I make good use of a stocks and shares ISA, so my dividends are free from tax. Before I look at the 2022 total, I'll reveal my passive income for December. But first I'm going to go back in time to the year 2009 when it all started. I began investing in January of that year, but in December I received dividends from Barclays totaling £44. In the following December this increased slightly to £45. And by December 2011, I had added a few more companies and got payouts from Persimmon and BP as well as Barclays. Now let's fast forward and see what I got paid in December of 2022. This is not investment advice and I'm simply showing you my own journey. We will start with premium bonds. The prize rate has recently been increased to 3%. There is one draw a month. You have easy access to your money. There is a chance of winning $1 million every month and all winnings are tax-free. Now here is an interesting question for you. Which of these would pay you the most on average if you had £50,000 invested and you were a higher rate taxpayer? Option 1 is premium bonds paying a 3% prize rate, or option 2, an instant access account paying 4.3%. With premium bonds and average luck, I'd expect to receive £1,500 a year. In a savings account with 4.3% interest, I'd receive £2,150, but I'd have to pay income tax on anything above £500, so I'd actually end up with less than if I had invested in premium bonds. There is also the entertainment, competitiveness and unpredictability of premium bonds, which I think adds a certain value and enjoyment to them. December, however, was yet another month when I received nothing at all. Here are my winnings for the complete year. The prize rate was significantly lower than it is today and my return for the year was £500. On the 14th of December, I received some passive income from Unilever. The share price is up 5.3% over the year and the dividend yield is 3.6%. Dividend growth looks very encouraging over the years with an upward trend. This month Unilever paid out a total of £290. If you want to know how much I hold in each company, then I've listed all my totals in the video description. On the 16th, BP paid some cash to their shareholders. The shares have had an excellent run throughout the year, up an impressive 35%. The dividend yield is also very good at 4%. The dividend growth, however, is a bit patchy and BP has cut its dividend from time to time. This month, BP paid out a total of £295. Before I continue, please consider giving that like button a quick tap, as it really helps out the channel. Thanks. On the 20th December, it was the turn of Shell to reward its shareholders. The shares have risen in price by almost 39% over the year and the yield is 3.5%. This month, Shell paid out exactly the same as BP with £295. On the 28th of December, I received a present from Vanguard. This exchange-traded fund gives you exposure to nearly 2,000 large to mid-cap companies from around the world who pay decent dividends. I've only recently started buying this ETF. The share price is almost unchanged this year and a dividend yield is 3.8%. The dividends look fairly stable and this month VHYL paid out £30. On the 30th of December, it was the turn of the Renewable Infrastructure Group to pay out. This clean energy company specialises in wind, solar and battery storage technology. The shares are down nearly 5% in the year and the dividend yield is 5.2%. This December, Trig paid me a dividend of £45. Also on the 30th of December, I received a dividend from another exchange-traded fund. This one has the ticker code ISF and gives you exposure to the complete FTSE 100. The price is more or less unchanged and the dividend is a respectable 4%. Dividend growth can be a bit variable, but it's an ETF I've had for several years, and this month it paid out a total of £130. The third payment on the 30th December was IUSA. This exchange-traded fund gives you exposure to the complete S&P 500, including some big names such as Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google and Johnson & Johnson. The price of the ETF is down 10% on the year and it pays a relatively low dividend of 1.4%. This month IUSA paid me a dividend of £40. Right at the end of the month, Imperial Brands paid some passive income to their shareholders. The shares are up 26% on the year and the dividend is high at 6.8%. Dividend growth has been good over the long term, but there has been a bit of a pullback in the last couple of years. In December, Imperial Brands paid out a total of £230. The green bars on this graph show my monthly passive income from 2021 and the blue bars are for 2022. You can see that dividend income can vary considerably, but it does go up from year to year as dividends are reinvested along with new money going in as well. This graph shows the total from 2021 and now 2022. It's an increase of 1,885 compared to the previous year. Of last year's total passive income, £14,145 came from dividends and £500 was premium bond prizes. Everything is tax-free as I make good use of a stocks and shares ISA. I'm now receiving an average of £1,179 a month in share dividends. And here is the all-important graph, and as it's the end of the year I've added the 2022 bar to it. This graph shows how my average dividend income per month has changed since I started in 2009. There was a dip in 2020 because of the pandemic, but the dividends quickly recovered. Now if you hang on until the end of the video, I'll reveal everything I've been buying and selling in December, including one company I've got rid of completely after holding it for over 10 years. First, a quick look at the ex-dividend dates for the month ahead. 8 companies go ex-dividend in January, and if you hold these companies before the ex-dividend date, you're entitled to the dividend which will be paid to you on the payment date. 14 companies pay out in January, and of the companies shown here, I will be expecting payments from National Grid and GSK. This screen shows the highest yields in the FTSE 100, with Persimmon leading the way with almost 19%. With higher yields comes a higher risk of a dividend cut and a subsequent share price fall as investors become worried. My own portfolio averages around 4%, which is slightly higher than the FTSE 100 average of 3.7%. And now for my purchases in December. I bought more shares in a chemical company, Croda. The shares have fallen significantly this year. Not only do I see them as a bargain over the long term, but with the low dividend I can keep it outside the ISA. I've also bought more Unilever shares and have been benefiting from their recent momentum. I continue to buy the ETF VHYL as it gives a good dividend as well as global diversification. As you saw earlier, it's already started to pay me dividends and will over time become a more important part of my portfolio. I've also continued to buy another ETF. IUSA is an ETF I buy outside of the ISA because of its low yield. And now for the sales. After 10 years of owning them, I've sold my complete holding in Direct Line. And I've done this for a number of reasons. Firstly, there is a pretty awful performance over the last 5 years. Direct Line is down 43%. Secondly, its dividend yield is very high at over 10% and may not be sustainable. I also own Aviva, so I'm not getting out of the insurance sector completely. And another reason is it frees up some space inside the ISA, allowing me to shift some higher yielding shares into the ISA. I'll leave a link above if you want to know more about how the recent tax changes are affecting the way I invest going forward. I've also trimmed HSBC very slightly as I had £500 worth of shares outside the ISA. Now, if you want to know how eating burgers helped me break the £1,000 a month dividend milestone, then I urge you to check out this video here.